Hi, it is me, Bishop J from our camp Gilgal TV. Wonderful time to be with you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord protect you. May the Lord provide for your need. He is a great God, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is the Lord that provides, and He is the Lord that protects, and He is the Lord that bless. He bless our lives, and He bless all that we do. He make the sun to rise up in the morning for believers and unbelievers, and He make the rain to come down for believers and unbelievers again. That our kind, merciful, gracious He is. He is God Almighty. He is the Lord that provide and make sure that His people that He created in His own image be protected and be blessed. We thank Him and we celebrate His mighty name. And if it is your first time you come across this channel, the Camp Gilgal TV channel with Bishop J, I kindly request you to subscribe. Once you subscribe, you like the video. And once you like the video, you comment. You drop your comment section, your comment on the comment sections. You drop it there. I will answer you, and I will be back to you and say thank you for your support and thank you for all that. Those who are already in a community of a Camp Gilgal TV channel, I kindly say thank you to you from the bottom of my heart. I do not take you for granted. You who keep supporting my video every time I upload a video. You always go in and watch it. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord protect you. May the Lord provide for you. He is the great God. He is the great God, the Shalom. God Almighty. Okay, today we're going to talk something. We're going to study some of the character in the book of Samuel. We will study the character in the book of Samuel. There is plenty of character in the book of Samuel, and those characters, they have a relationship. Because let me tell you one thing in life, relationship matters. And those character, they have relationship. And those relationship sometimes is loyal, sometimes is not. And the book of Samuel for me, Bishop J, is the best book that I love to read and I love to understand it. I don't know how many times I read the book of Samuel, and I don't know how many times I study it in a manner that I must arrive to understand it and to make it sure it sink in my mind, the book of Samuel. It is the book that started with, in chapter 1, let me say this to put it clear. The book of Samuel, the first and the second book of Samuel in our English Bible, it is one book in the Hebrew Bible. In the Hebrew Bible is one book. The book of Samuel, first and second, is one book. Now, in the English Bible, they divided 1 and 2. Now, I'm gonna go put it all together in this study that we're going to do today. It's a very topical and is a very characteristic study that we're gonna do today. I'm gonna do with you. Now, it starts in chapter 1 of 1 Samuel in our English Bible. So, chapter 1 of a man called Elkanah. Elkanah have 2 wives, and those 2 wives, one was not barren per se. Sometimes we put it wrongly. Anna was not barren. The Lord has closed her womb. That one, sometimes people want to know. One day I was teaching in a Bible school. Somebody asking me, why did the Lord close her womb? I said, I don't know. That's a question only the Lord knows. But by seeing the event as went forward, then you'll understand why the Lord did close Anna's womb. And the other woman, Penina, she was producing children all along. producing children without a problem. And then Anna prayed to God, and then she will have a son called Samuel. God has given a son called Samuel, which she dedicated to the Lord. She took Samuel to the Lord. They said, once she has this age, I'll give it to you, Samuel. I'll give it to you, God. And she gave Samuel as a gift to God. And we know how powerful and Samuel was, and God used him so mightily. And the Bible says everything that Samuel said, nothing never come to pass. Every word of Samuel come to pass as he said. Okay, there is this supporting cast. You know, when you do movies, there is a main actor and main actresses, and those who support the cast, and those who just there for peripheric reasons. Elkanah is for me peripheric reasons, and the supporting cast is Anna. Anna is a supporting cast. Penina also is a peripheric role she can play. You know, when you watch action movies, when there is a war, people die left and right. They are not the main actor. We don't even know their faces, but they were there. They were killed. That is the Elkanah and the Peninas. But Anna was a supporting cast. And then we see a main actor, a main character in the book is Samuel. You cannot talk the book of Samuel without talking Samuel himself. He even took the name. The book became even his name, Samuel. Samuel. Not even King David, but it became Samuel. Now we have Samuel. And then we have the first king. Another peripheric roles that people play is the high priest Eli and his kid, that they also play a kind of, high priest Eli play a kind of a supporting act, but the kid, they were peripheric, if I can put it that way. Now, we have Samuel, the man, one of the first main character is Samuel. Then we have Eli, who was a priest. He is a supporting cast. Then we have the first king of united Israel, Saul. The first king of united Israel is one of the main character also, because you cannot talk the book of Samuel without talking about Saul. King Saul, and his son was a supporting cast, Jonathan. Jonathan was a supporting cast who was a very good friend to David. Before we conclude, we'll talk about it. Now there was also daughters of King Saul, and Michael and Meribah, who were also put them in a level of supporting cast. Now you see the main actor is Samuel, and followed by King Saul, and King Saul. We will understand. You know, sometimes people say King Saul was a choice of a man. I don't go that direction. I don't. I respect those who say that, but I, Jose, do not go that direction. Me, Bishop Jose, I refuse that direction. For me, King Saul was not chosen by man. God had chosen King Saul. In fact, when you read 1 Samuel chapter 8 and 9, you will understand that even Samuel did not know King Saul. God told him, go tomorrow, you will see, God told him, you will see tomorrow who I have chosen to be the leader of Israel. He was a leader of Israel. Now, I don't want the confusion to be there. We know Jesus Christ supposed to come from the tribe of Judah, not from the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Judah. That is not in question at all. But King Saul came from the tribe of Benjamin. He was going to be the leader of the Israelite, leader in an administrative way, and leading the kingdom in such a manner, but not the king of Israel in the manner of the kingdom of Israel and the messianic line that's supposed to remain to the tribe of Judah alone. But he was not chosen by man, he was chosen by God, and God did anointed him. That number one. Then he has a son called Jonathan, and they become very close to David. Now, when we see the story going on and going on, then we found the other supporting cast. And we around there, like Joab, like Abner. Abner was a chief, military chief of King Saul. And then we see Joab, who was also he will become later the military chief of David. They were cousins. Joab and David were cousins because Joab was the son of King David's sister that Joab was, and they were cousins. Now you see how those supported cast, we will see them a little bit further what they become. Then we see another man who played a role, who was Jesse. Jesse, in his house, God has selected, or God has elected the line of a Messiah in Jesse's house. The line of Messiah. Jesse had many sons, but God has selected one of his multiple sons, who was David. David was Jesse's son, and he was elected by God for the line of the Messianic to come through his blood, King David. And he was anointed by Samuel. He was anointed by Samuel as the next king in line, because King Saul was already rejected, because he did not listen, he did not follow by letters the word of God. And therefore God rejected him, and they have chosen David, a man according to God's heart. He chosen David. Now, one of the things I need to say in passing before I run out of time is King Saul, during his 40 years of reign, he never ever bring Israel in a spiritual reform. He never. Even though there is once he kicked out all the witchcraft, those who do witchcraft, those who do mediums, those who consult the other kind of God. He kicked them out of the land of Israel. For him, it was not in a spiritual sense as Ezekiel did. For him, it was an administration way of kind of. So I want to be good, I'll go out. Therefore, there is even the extra material outside of the Bible. So his wife was not so spiritual. The wife of King Saul was attached a lot to witchcraft and all those do divine. That is a struggle. You can see that even when King Saul rebuked Jonathan about David, he said, you are going to be the way of your mother, the way your mother behaved, then you will understand that King Saul's wife was influenced to King Saul, and he was not spiritual. And in fact, King Saul, in all his time, he never ever go to look the face of God at the ark of the alliance of God. He never go there. He never go there. And that what was his weakness, and that was also his downfall. He was a carnal king. That's why he kind of do things to satisfy or to please the people than to please God. That's what happened to King Saul. Now we see King David. David, God raised him from nowhere. God raised him, and God made him to be a king. These are main characters you find in the book of Samuel. You find Elkanah, you find Peninnah, you find Anna as the two wives of Elkanah, and then you find Samuel, and then you find Eli, the high priest, and his two sons who were behaving so badly, and the day they died, then the wife was giving birth, then he cried, Ichabod, the glory has departed. That was so good. Even the ark was taken away by the Philistine. In the same day, she gave birth and said the glory has departed. And then we have King Saul, the first king of United Israel. And then after him, he has two sons. He has a son, Jonathan, one of great son, Jonathan. By the way, for King Saul, also you'll see that one of his sons have the name of the god of the Philistine. Then you will understand that there was a time he was consulting other gods. You will see he even went to consult. He went to consult other gods to bring up the spirit of Samuel, because he wanted to hear Samuel talking to him about God. Then we have King David. King David. Abner was a chief army of King Saul. Then Joab became the chief army of David. Now, before I close this, we see the characters. Now we need to understand the relationship matter between these characters. You will see David and Saul have not a good relationship, kind of. David saved Israel by killing Goliath, and they become a singer in the presence of Saul when Saul was tormented by the bad spirit. But then Saul found a way. He wanted to kill David because he understood that he is the next in line to become a king. Then he wanted to kill David. That's how their relationship was. Not really friendly, the relationship. Saul will go after David to try to pin him down and to kill him. But by God's grace and the hand of God was with David, and David will escape Saul in one way or the other. He have, I think, 2 or 3 occasions to kill Saul, but he let him alive. And he let him alive. Now, there is a good relationship, because I said to you, relationship matter. A covenantal relationship between David and Jonathan. Jonathan knew he was the next to be king, because if King Saul died, Jonathan, by the right of birth, he would take over to his father's throne. But he understood the father was already disqualified, therefore he himself was disqualified, and the next in line was King David. And he became a friend to David. A friend that was more than blood friend. More than blood friend. He understood. Even the father said to him, do you know that you're not going to be a king? That shepherd boy, David, will be the king over your throne. And you do that. And they make a covenant with David. That is the best of the, some relationship may not be of the blood relationship, but it can be of a covenantal relationship. And that relationship is rare. I can assure you, not many you will have them with that covenantal relationship. A friend who will stand by you in rainy days, in the sunny days, in the snow days, in all the seasons. A friend that will stand by you, he will die by you, he will do everything by you. That was Jonathan with David. But there is also a blood relationship. Sometimes we have a sibling rivalry and all of it. But the blood always comes and says, remember that is your brother. Remember that is your mother. Remember that is your father. Remember that is your sister. That Jonathan with his father. I'll close here. Jonathan with his father, King Saul. He knew God was no longer with him. That's why I'll give you this assignment to read 2 Samuel chapter 1. 2 Samuel chapter 1, especially from verse 17 to the last verse of chapter 1. When David, they announced to him that King Saul is dead and your friend Jonathan is no more also. you can see that Jonathan, who understood, my father is no longer in God's purpose. But he still stands beside his father. When his father went to the war against the Philistine, Jonathan stand there. That is a blood relationship. It matters. And they all died at the field of the battles. Even though the father was already tormented with a bad spirit to become mad, but he's still going to the war for the people. And Jonathan followed the father, and even his other brother followed the father. They went and they died at the battlefield. Then you read from verse 17 of 2 Samuel. Then David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan, his sons. You know, in this case, some of us today, we will celebrate when you overheard that your enemy has fallen, or the guy you don't like has lost his job, or he's divorcing, or he's separating with his wife, or he's been kicked out of his place of renting, or he has no money anymore, he's breaking left and right. You will celebrate. But David did not celebrate. Even though he was not in a good relationship with Saul, but he's still crying for Saul. When you read it, you say, then verse 18 says, and he told them to teach the children of Judah the song of the bow. The song of the bow. Indeed, it is written in the book of Jasher. Then in verse 19 he says, the beauty of Israel is slain on your higher places. How the mighty have fallen. You know, David was good to write song. He was a great writer. Even today they know a writer of song can match David. And David was a great writer, and he can play instrument very swift. That's how the mighty has fallen. The mighty is Saul, Jonathan. They have fallen. And then he said, tell it in Gath, proclaim it not in the street of Ashkelon. Lest the daughter of a Philistine rejoice. Lest the daughter of uncircumcised triumph. You don't tell them, they will rejoice. Understood? What is this? Is not a blood relationship. This is a covenantal relationship, and this is a purpose relationship that David is crying for Saul and Jonathan. As a whole mountain of Gibeons, let there be no dew, no rain upon you, no field of offering, for the shield of the mighty is cast away there. The shield of Saul, not anointed with oil. The shield of Saul is not anointed with oil to slain the uncircumcised. Is crying. Then from the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan did not turn back. And the sword of Saul did not return empty. They died standing in the battlefield. And David here is crying. And you need to understand, when he's crying here, he is in exile. I'll go a little bit more than the time I always give to you because I'm feeling it here. He is in exile. And him being in exile is crying upon his king Saul, is crying upon his friend Jonathan. There's a whole daughter of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with luxury, who put ornament of gold on your apparent. How the mighty have fallen. Second times, he cried, how the mighty have fallen in the midst of the battles. Jonathan was slain in your higher places. Jonathan was slain in higher places. Now listen to this. When he's crying for his friend of covenantal brother relationship, Jonathan, when you went high now, you say, I am distressed for you. I can imagine King David in that time. He's sitting on the ground and his voice is louder and louder. And he scream and scream. He torn his pierce. He torn his pierce. He torn his cloth. He became half naked. And then he said, I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. Today, I don't know who I can call brother. I don't know who I can call brother. This verse remind me of a friend of mine who passed away some time ago. He was dearly a brother to me. He was dearly a brother to me. I have lost him by a freak accident. And then he said, I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. You have been very pleasant to me. You have been very pleasant to me. Your love to me was wonderful, surpassing the love of a woman. Jonathan, my brother, how the mighty has fallen. That time, then verse finish with how the mighty has fallen and the weapon of war perished. That is, you see, the character, how it come together, how God blended together in the purpose of the mighty Lord. He blended together. And the heart of David, he cried for even his harsh enemy Saul, but his covenantal brother Jonathan, he cried, say, I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. The character. God bless you. Do not forget to subscribe.